Hello and welcome to 4,000 and Counting. I'm Watty. This is Mark, and we are back for another Roundup episode. Lots been happening. We are at the business end of the season, and that means silverware is being handed out, cups are getting fought for, and the playoff race is heating up. It is also heating up at 4,000 and Counting Towers. You may have seen a little cryptic post this week. And that cryptic post was a flight from Vienna into London Gatwick. Now, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to work out who lives in Vienna, who lives near Gatwick, and the date. Well, Mark, do you want to tell the people the reason you are coming to the UK?
Well, it's playoff weekend, baby.
It is playoff weekend. And our second teaser of the week, you may have seen Saltbox and you may have seen the Green Room. Now, those that have been to the Motorpoint Arena in Nottingham will be able to tell you that that is the bar that adjoins onto the front of the rink, and the Green Room is the new hospitality suite inside the arena. Mark, tell the people why that is important.
Well, let's just say that this is going to be a new venture for 4,000 and counting, as we
Yeah.
are going to be bringing you the chance to see us live.
We are. Thanks to Nick from Motorpoint Arena and from Saltbox. Great guy. Yeah, we've been doing some discussions. This has been going on maybe since before Christmas, actually. It's been in the pipeline for a long time, and we can now officially announce we will be doing 3 live podcasts at the Elite League Playoff Finals weekend, starting in Saltbox 11:30 until 1. So pre-semi-final 1. Come and join us at Saltbox. We're going to have amazing guests all weekend. I'm going to let you know the guest at the end of this. I'll let you know the first guest at the end of this episode. I'm going to keep you hanging for a little while longer. The second, so that's in Saltbox. I'm not sure if I said the second podcast we're going to do is going to be 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. on the Sunday morning. Once again in Saltbox, and then finally our third and final live podcast of the weekend is going to be in the green room hospitality suite within Motorpoint Arena. That is going to be on pretty much as soon as the third and fourth finishes. If the third and fourth is terrible, maybe before it finishes. We will, depending on how Motorpoint and Saltbox and Nick and everybody want to play that. We're pretty easy. I think we're going to go for lunch when the third and fourth's on. We're going to do our morning
Yeah.
shift, get our morning podcast in. I think we're probably going to go for lunch. But that is the idea. We want to give you guys some entertainment, and we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be great. Can't wait to meet some of you guys in person, and hopefully we put on a show for you. From by all accounts, Saltbox are putting out all the stops. We're going to have all the equipment. We're going to have big projectors and screens up everywhere. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, we're going to do interviews. I haven't spoke to Mark, so we're going to have a conversation live on air now. This is you hearing that. Will we take any questions from the audience at any point, Mark?
I think we should, yeah.
I mean, it's no different from a Facebook Live, right, or a YouTube Live. And when we
Yeah,
do
let's do it.
those, we answer some of your questions. Don't get me wrong, if they're stupid fucking questions, we're probably not going to answer them. There is such a thing as a stupid question. If you get one shot, nail it. Ask a good question. Or it doesn't even have to be to us. Maybe if our guests are open to that, maybe you'll be able to ask our guests a question, which will be interesting as well. Mark, I'm buzzing, mate. I really can't wait. I'm excited. I don't want to bypass the news totally, but sadly, Mark won't be joining me. But I will the weekend prior to the Elite League. I am flying up to Bonnie, Scotland. I am going to be covering the SNL playoff finals weekend, which has been held in Edinburgh. So I'm going to be there Saturday the 13th, Sunday the 14th, and maybe a little bit more information about other playoff weekends and bits and pieces coming soon. But we're gonna get into into the SNL one a little bit more next week. I've got a couple of the boys in the pipeline to jump on and bum up Scottish hockey a bit, which it's been great this year. The first year I can hand on heart, let's say that I've had like a vetted interest all year. Obviously with the trip to Aberdeen at the start of the season, meeting some of the boys, meeting some of the Dundee boys. Once you know a few of the lads, you look out, didn't you? And I've
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Like it's been good battles. They still like chuck knucks quite a bit up there, which obviously I like. The games have been
you're going to enjoy
competitive.
the hockey then.
I'm gonna enjoy it, right? And yeah, I'm excited to go up and see what their weekend's all about. I haven't done it before. It's going to be good exposure for them. Being on 4,000 counting, it's going to be good for 4,000 counting to open up to a new market potentially. And we want to keep this train growing and rolling and everything. And you guys are a massive part of that, doing all the usual stuff, subscribing, liking, help these algorithms grow. It's hard for these small hockey channels, but we ain't going anywhere. So the quicker you help us grow, the better. Mark, what are you most excited about doing a live podcast? Because by the way, guys, we don't edit our podcast unless a guest asks us to take something out. What you see is what you get. So this is what you're going to get at the live show. Like this, if we make mistakes, we make mistakes. Like we don't care.
I'm looking forward to no screens because we
Oh
bounce
yeah,
off
mate.
each other so much better. You know, when you're in person, we bounce off each other like a
Yeah, of
hundred
course.
times more, and
Even just
like there's
watching
no
games together, mate. Even just
stuff between.
sorry, I interrupt you. I was just saying, even just watching games together, like that energy is different.
Completely. And it's like sometimes as people don't realize there's sometimes delays between the recordings, like when what he speaks, sometimes like there's a slight delay or a pause, but when it's live, you don't get any of that and it's going to be raw. And I look forward to it. The only thing I do say, question and answers, but we're there for a really good time, and I know that we're quite political within hockey, but I want to keep the politics out of it and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
focus
no.
on a good time of hockey and just appreciate the weekend and what's on display.
Yeah. No, like I don't want to be getting down like a fucking planet ice rabbit
I don't
hole.
kill the mood.
Yeah, you don't want to what? Sorry.
Don't want to kill the mood. Like go into the semi final like, oh,
Yeah, no, no, no. It's not. It's not that vibe. It's gonna be fun, guys. So I think I don't know if they've officially christened it this yet, but the Sunday morning podcast is going to be the Hangover Club. So that's what Nick said. He wants, he knows everybody. He goes, we want entertainment, but we know everyone's going to go out. No one wants a fucking rock band at 10 o'clock in the morning when you've got a head on. So, guys, come. We'll cure your hangover. We'll tell some stories. We'll have some laughs. We will dissect the previous night's semi-finals. We will look ahead, not to the third and fourth, to the final. We'll be talking about that. And obviously, we will be interviewing our guests as well. So I don't know if our guests are going to be on for the full hour and a half, or if you'll have myself and Mark talking for half an hour, talking about what's current and the lead up to the games and the post game stuff. Excuse me. And then we have the guests come on for an hour. Or if our guest wants to do longer, we'll just go have at it and we'll go all the way through. But yeah, excited. Glad we got to share that with you guys. We've been sitting on it for a long time. And yeah, we really look forward to seeing many of you there. We are going to get into some congratulations. We will start with let's go League Over Cup. Let's go League Over Cup. Congratulations to the Leeds Knights. Back-to-back champions.
congratulations.
Huge success. 6 losses all year. One of them coming in MK when they had the opportunity. MK weren't going to let them win the title on their barn. So, a 7-4 victory there. But then up on home ice against the Bees, never in doubt. And they get it done at the second time of asking. And it's back-to-back titles for Aldi and the core group they have there. That team's a wagon, mate. They ain't going anywhere.
It's really pleasing to see, and it's great to see again that there's been another top of the table battle. I don't want to take away anything from Leeds and speak about the league, but just want to say that it's been phenomenal for them to keep up the pace again. It's not so easy. You can get injuries during the season, suspensions, but Leeds have just longed it out and
You
they've just
fucking
proven.
suspensions in this league.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20
because
games.
suspensions and lose like 5 guys for 7-month prison sentence, mate. You don't know. Uh, uh, yeah, like don't ask us any questions about fucking DOPS for God's sake. You just everyone is just going to be rowdy and fucking pissed off at the end of it. Imagine just like an hour talking about DOPS with everyone having pints. So just everyone's going to be like.
We'd be in there for 8 hours speaking about it.
To be fair, I'll
We'd
give.
forget about the games.
Yeah, I know. Just go down a rabbit hole. The Elite League itself, though, have been a lot better with DOPS this year. It's the national that's a gong show. So hopefully we won't
Yeah.
have that issue with it being the Elite League. Yeah, moving to the Elite League. Congratulations to Sheffield Steelers. They pick up the Challenge Cup with a victory over Guildford, who put a valiant effort in up in Sheffield, packed out barn, but Sheffield just had a little bit too much. Matt Greenfield. Let's just talk about that guy for a minute. I'm going to try and find his stats. I'm pretty sure over the entirety of the Challenge Cup, he had a 97.8 save percentage, which is literally obscene.
98.18 save percentage.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's
If
pretty
I'm reading
good.
that right, yeah.
I'm just trying to find it
Let's
now. So the Daily
four
IHL,
games
they shared
played.
it. When was it? I'm sure it was Daily IHL. Either way, there's a couple of really good pages on Instagram now for all your Elite League news people. I should have found it before I came on, but yeah, you get the idea. He basically was running at 100%. Like you
Not
can't
just
really
cup
do.
either.
Yeah,
That's the crazy
yeah.
thing. He's just doing
The
phenomenal.
guy's a savage. Probably the player of the year for me.
In the Sheffield on the Sheffield roster,
In the league. Isn't it
well,
funny how it happens?
hard to take credit away from what he's done. Like you build your team around a good netminder.
It's funny, right? So my favorite. Who did we name player of the year before last? Besco when Belfast won everything, or was that last year? Bel. Oh
Yeah,
no,
it's been long.
last year was Conway. I
Can't
think
remember
maybe
what I
the
did
year.
yesterday.
Yeah, true. But either way, like it's funny how the guys are in the mix of the goalies. Because if you're going to win shit, you need a really, really good goalie. And in Sheffield, they have a outstanding goalie. Like, and it's interesting. Remember, like when he came in, he was potentially coming in as number two, and Rock got injured, didn't he?
Crazy story, isn't it? Crazy
What
how
like
that's. Imagine if he didn't get injured.
first preseason game warm up. Simsy told us a story on the podcast, so
Yeah,
instead of me butchering it, if you want to hear it, go and check out Simsy's second episode before 4,000 counting. And yeah, he told the story, just a freak accident, and then all of a sudden, out of that emerges this fucking straight savage because he was legit last year as well.
yeah. He's been
Legit,
phenomenal for
legit.
2 seasons.
Yeah, he doesn't look like stopping either. It just seemed okay. They had the opportunity to win the league in Cardiff. And much the same as MK, they were like, nah, not on our watch. Cardiff blanked them 4-0 last night. Actually sat and watched the Devils highlight package this morning. Great job, Devils TV. Some of these Elite League
Yeah,
packages are seriously good now. Like they're well worth. Back in the day when it was a bit shit, maybe I would chuck on the highlights. But now, pretty much all teams deliver a really good package when it comes to highlights. It's quite quick. It's the next day normally. It's real handy for the podcast, getting into it. There's all sorts of contentious moments about disallowed goals and goalie interference, and we could do a whole podcast on goalie interference. I hate that fucking rule. I hate it.
oh,
Like I do
yeah.
hate it. I get it in certain circumstances, but after just sitting and praising Greenfield for 5 minutes, I'm going to chirp him right now. He gets touched coming across the crease, and bro, he full Iron Lotus 360
I've seen this. Yeah,
spinorama. It's like he wasn't going that fast. There's no way you're going. And I've seen these goalies do this on hockey camps. Like they can turn on a sixpence, mate. Like they're so good at being in control of what they're doing. I get it. You get bumped, you're gonna spin, but the way he span and he was all the way back round. But yeah. Anyway, Cardiff, they do the job. You see Riley Brandt and Sam Jones chucking some knucks.
indeed.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Love
That
Riley
was
Brandt.
that wasn't a bad tilt, to be fair.
He was
Until
right, yeah.
Jones had his jersey, got jerseyed, and then it sort of went the other way. But he gave a good account for himself at the beginning. I thought it was quite a good, from memory. I've only seen the video once, but it was quite a good square
Yeah,
off.
so
Not square off, but like
yeah,
they were
they
trading
went
at the
after it.
beginning, and then was sort of going along the bench, and then Jones has come down, the jerseys come over, and then Brands just took control.
Yeah, he landed a nice couple of uppercuts towards the back end of that fight. Yeah, I think it's a good tilt.
Great,
Gets the boys going on both sides, and
great job, boys.
no one gets hurt. Everyone goes home. It's um it's interesting because we're getting to that business stage of the season now. Like I said, cups are up for grabs. We've had the Steelers winning theirs. Then last night we had the battle of the NIHL National Cup finalists between Hull. The Seahawks took on the Lightning from MK, and what a game it was. I sat and watched it. I know Mark was out, he was on the guitar jamming. But I sat and watched it and I was very impressed with both teams. Really enjoyable game. Thought the referee let the game flow, which was nice for a cup final. And yeah, like the players that you would expect to turn up turned up. Ross Venus had a goal, Herman had a goal, Chamberlain had a goal, Bonner had a goal. Like you can start going through it. Sobchak had a goal. The guys you expect to score goals. Liam Stewart, he opened the scoring. Interesting game, back and forth. 1-0 MK, 1-1, 2-1 MK, 3-2 Hull, 4-3 MK, no, 3-3, and then Hull go ahead and then fucking MK, mate. It was just like spinning on a sixpence all the time. And both teams gave a real good account of themselves. Good advert for the league. 2,000 people in the arena
Nice,
for a midweek game on a Wednesday. That's outstanding in their
really
second
good.
season. In their second season, shout out to MK. They travel very well. They took 150 to
Yeah,
Solway for
solid.
the for the
I saw
double
the
header.
photo. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's class.
They've really
Yes,
shown up, haven't they? Like home games, they're like what 2,600 they've been getting at some games.
mate, they're killing it every time. Good for them.
Amazing.
Um, I keep saying today. Sorry, it's been a long day, folks. I'm tired. I've just done like 5 back-to-back clients as well. The MK Lightning, they're a good team. They could cause some issues in the playoffs. They do have depth. Do they have enough to stop Leeds winning, the playoffs? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's also going to be interesting to see if they can finish the job against Hull here because it's a long way from over. I'd be surprised. I'd be interested to see if there's any tilts next week. It was very edgy yesterday. Lots of coming togethers after the whistles, lots of like little extra shoves, little cross checks, little niggly bits as you'd expect a final to be. Really, really good fun game. I enjoyed it a lot.
I would love to be at the game in MK. Oh wow, that is going to be some game.
Yeah, these boys are going to get
Like
after
you
it.
say, that's going to be. You might see a tilt in that. Like that's going to be. Whew.
Yeah, it's going to be spicy. One goal, not a lot in it. There was opportunities for that game to finish level. If it had a finished level, I think it would probably been a fair result. I don't think it's an unfair result that MK won by any stretch of the imagination. Just saying, like for what was on display and how close it was and how back and forth it was. Tell you who's a weapon, mate. That's Speck. Emil Speck is
I
a
was
fucking
just thinking that. Did he score?
Yeah, of course he scored. Yeah.
I was gonna when you said the names, I was thinking, hang on a minute, did you say Svek? Because he didn't he
Yeah.
score like 15 goals in 3 minutes last week or something.
Oh mate, he got 10 points last week. Savage. Guys got 10 more. Double hat trick. Definitely a double hat. 9 points. Double hat trick and 3 assists. Either way, whatever, however many points. They took him over the 100 point mark. He's big, he's strong. He runs guys over. He actually got smoked yesterday as well, but he bounced straight back up. Love to see that. It's funny because you got Sobchak and then you've got Svek. They're like this. They're playing with each other. It's like a foot taller than him. But yeah, the Sobchak goal was beautiful. Like long breakaway pass, short-handed, in, backhand, catch aside. Like it was a really nice finish. Yeah, so just it was a good hockey game, and I think both coaches would be happy. No, none of them should be disappointed.
Yeah, and it's only a one
Yeah.
goal difference, so really just just leaves it in a really good like really I don't know. Last season we had the chase, didn't we, between the Phantoms and the Knights? Do you remember? Was it 6-0 to Phantoms?
Oh
Or
yeah, it was a
five
joke, wasn't
zero or
it?
something like that. And Leeds had to like basically just the second game they just bought it to him. No one thought, are they going to catch him up? And well, it was
Yeah,
very
because big
close.
big Cal Hepburn came down and guessed it for the Phantoms, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Because Marzi was injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go to where do you want to go first? We're gonna kind of round up our playoff expectation teams in and out. Do we go to the Elite League first, or do you want to go National first?
Let's go. Let's stick with the national while we're on the national.
Okay, let me pull the national page up then, people. Shout out NIHL
Yeah,
stats.
NIHL stats. Absolutely incredible.
Dot
Thank you.
wordpress.com. We need people like that within the game. It makes our life so much easier. Um, and he's on the money. Right, let's
I
have a
also want
look.
to say
So,
a shout out to Andrew Day and to Jamie Bartholomew. Sorry if I've got your name wrong. That's from memory. Just shout out to you boys for all your posts and information and stats that like go out like straight away after games and stuff that I see pop up. That really like helps me get in touch with everything in the league when I don't
oh
get to
yeah,
see every game because I don't always get to see streams if I'm at games myself. So just thank you.
yeah, it makes a massive bloody difference, man. Can it? Right,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get both the tables and the fixtures up at the same time. So, as we know, we are fast approaching the business end of the season. So 2 weekends worth of hockey left. I think it's 4 games left for everybody. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it's four. One, two, three, four. Yeah, 4 games left each. And the way it stands right now, you have Sheffield Steel Dogs and Bristol Pitbulls. Mathematically, they're out. But Solway Sharks sit on 53 at 43 points. The Bracknell Bees sit on 45 points, and the Raiders sit on 47 points. Now, the fixtures over the weekend, they dish up some juiciness, especially in that battle of the bottom right there. So the Raiders and Bees, they take each other on Saturday, whilst Solway, the other team that are in that battle there, take on Telford, who they're more than secured their place. They're sitting on 51 points. Then on Sunday, Solway Sharks travel to the Bracknell Bees. That is a huge game. Whilst the Raiders, they go over to Peterborough. They take on Slava and the Phantoms. So, Mark, we've got Raiders, Bees, and we've got Sharks, Bees this weekend. That's the teams that are in that battle, and that's what's going to make it super interesting. Because next weekend, looking at it, Solway have got a tough weekend next weekend. They're going to want to get maximum points this weekend. Next weekend they go to the
Yeah.
champions on a Friday night game. They then travel back home to take on the Seahawks at home. So that's a tough game. And then next week for the Bees, they take on the Phantoms at home on Saturday, and then they head off to the Steel Dogs. So Phantoms and Steel Dogs is a weekend that I think the Bees get points in. And the Sharks have a very tough job to get. Maybe they I don't know,
They're
maybe Leeds.
facing.
It's
I've got to
interesting.
say they're facing Leeds at the right time because they've wrapped the title now, so they
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to go full whack. They can just sort of see how they're going to go into the playoffs. Maybe work a few different things, a few different systems, get their playoff
So,
game in.
so it's funny. Normally you'd think that you go, oh, they're going to start the backup, but then Harrison Walker played 3 games last weekend and won 3 games in a row. So,
Solid.
like,
Yeah.
like back in my day, if you put your backup in, you were like, oh fuck, we're gonna get a 10 spot put on us right now, and yeah, now you can just go, hey, backup, you can play, and you're gonna still win games, and against like good teams as well. So shout out Harrison. He's been he's been very good and a great understudy to Sam Gospel there. I've gone completely off track. Right, so yeah, let's go back to the tables again. Shout out Joe once again. Here we go.
I think Solway make it, and I hope they do. I really hope they do. And I hope the
So,
Raiders make it also. I think the Bees are going to drop out. Maybe I'm going to be
right,
wrong,
in
but
order
yeah,
for
I'm
that to
Solway and
happen, right,
Raiders.
let's do the mathematics on this, right? So, if the Raiders beat the Bees on Saturday, they will move to 49 points. The Bees remain on 45 points. Now, Solway would then have to beat Telford on the Saturday. They would join the Bees on 45 points. That then sets up the Bees versus Solway on Sunday with them two teams tied on points. And then I would say, obviously, the winner's going to be huge in who decides goes to the playoffs because next weekend I fancy the Bees have the slightly easier weekend over the Sharks. So, excuse me. And then yeah, Raiders. I think if the Raiders get to 49 points with 3 games left, one more point sees them probably make it. So a point against the Phantoms, I think. Yeah, it's interesting. So the maximum points that each team can finish with, 55 for the Raiders, 53 for the Bees, and 51 for the Sharks. But as we know, they are playing against each other, so not all of them are going to pick up maximum points. So that's going to change. It's just going to be interesting to see who pulls it out of the bag. You think you're going to go Raiders and Sharks?
Yeah,
Let's see who Raiders play next weekend because again, that's going to come into it. And I think it is obviously going to come down to the last weekend of the season.
I think so. Yeah.
Actually, well, unless the other thing is the Bees could win both games this weekend, that would put them 6 points ahead of Solway, and Solway would be done.
Yeah. It's another way
Um,
to look at it.
that is one way of looking at it. And then the Raiders, they have Milton Keynes next week, so that's not an easy game. And they also have where is the Raiders? Swindon Wildcats. Again, not Wildcats on the road, MK at home. Neither of those are easy games. Yeah. What a league. Love to see it. Love to see all these teams still in the mix, and it's not like they're a gimme for whatever group they end up in. You're
No,
not you're not like, oh yeah, I hope they get in because we're gonna smash them. Like whoever finished in that 8 spot's gonna give you a run for your money.
every single team.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
the
a
beauty of the
national.
league.
Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's just
So say that
the beauty of the league, mate. The beauty of the league, and we said it last year. Anyone can beat anyone on their day.
they certainly can, and it's a good advert for the league. Sort the Department of Player Safety fucking bullshit out for next year. But no, mate, it has to be done. It does have to be
It
done.
does.
Like
It's an
eh,
embarrassment.
you've got all the rest of the cogs in motion. That has to be the number one priority because we can't be having that bullshit again next year. And that filters all the way down through the leagues. Like
Yeah.
a lot of these like, teams are amateur and stuff and they're getting treated like mugs. Should we have a little look at the Elite League then? Because it is equally as exciting in the Elite League. Now,
Yep.
the Elite League obviously being the 20th and 21st this year is a little bit later than normal, but let's pull up here. We've got the standings, and I would like the league table as well. Mark, while I'm doing this, talk us through retro jerseys.
Retro jerseys. Well, I just want to say that Nottingham Panthers jersey is absolutely amazing. Take my
Yeah,
money.
it is so sick. It gave me poor lady Mike Blaisdell vibes big time.
Great bit of business. And there was a video that I saw on LinkedIn. I think it was Sophie Rouse.
Yep.
Apologies if you've got the name wrong. That video was phenomenal.
Yeah, she does some good stuff. Right, I'm just trying to like figure out how many games each team's got left here because my brain won't be braining right now. So 47 games, 48 games, 47. So Clan take on the Dundee Stars, the Guildford Flames this weekend. Down, obviously, that's a huge game. So Glasgow take on Dundee in Glasgow on the Friday night. As it stands right now, Dundee Stars sit on 47 games played, 44 points. You got the Five Flyers, 48 games. They are currently on 45 points. Clan, 47 games, 45 points. And Blaze somehow have dragged themselves into this fucking pit down the bottom. They are 46 points in 47 games. So only 2 points separate ninth place Dundee and sixth place Coventry Blaze. Really interesting to like break it down. So the Coventry Blaze, they go to Manchester Storm this weekend. Manchester have been an absolute wagon of late, and they have now moved up into fourth place in the Elite League. So shout out to Matt Ginn
Great
and
job.
his guys in Manchester. Hell of a season for them. Yeah. Belfast, Dundee, basically Friday night, they have Glasgow away, and then Belfast away on Saturday. If you would feel if they don't pick anything up from there, their season's over.
Yeah. It's
They've
quite
really,
quite sad.
yeah, yeah.
Sad
So,
season.
but again, they get the opportunity because not only this Friday are they at Glasgow, next Friday they're at Glasgow as well. They play Glasgow a couple of times. Those games are going to be key. What else have we got? We got Coventry
Oh, I
Blaze,
was saying
Manchester.
sad about the Glasgow. I was saying it's sad how their season's been, not
Oh,
in
yeah, sorry. Yeah, Glasgow's season's not been fantastic, has it?
no, it really hasn't. I wasn't expecting him to see him like wow, that battle at the bottom. Even Dundee, they've dropped a bit. Fife have worked their way out.
Yeah. So the Panthers, they've got, let me have a look. Nottingham Panthers, they are 4 points back from ninth place, sitting at the bottom. But they do have the Sheffield Steelers. They then travel down to Cardiff. And then Thursday night up in Fife and Saturday at home to Coventry. So 4 games, they would have to hope for they'd have to hope for 4 wins and then some really, really like miraculous results going their way.
It's really tough when you've got Steelers that want to wrap up the title. And
Yeah.
you've got Cardiff that are still chasing, still going to keep chasing. They're not going to give up. So they've really, really got some tough games there, but they could take points from. I could see them beating Blaze. Well, I could see them beating anyone on their day. They can beat anyone, but it's really tough. I'd love to
Mate,
see like
I know there's still a little bit of hockey to to be played as we go into April as well, right? There's, but there's about a week and a bit that goes into that. But you think once these points start going, it's tough. There's 7 games, 6 games for some teams. There's some really interesting battles though. You got Fife and Dundee. So Dundee have evidently Fife, Glasgow. They've got their destiny in their own hands because they have so many games against the teams around them.
Yeah.
All right. What is it they call that in football? They call it like a 6 point game, don't they? You're getting 3, the other team are getting none. It's a big swing. It is like it's a massive swing because it's 2 points that are off the board for them, and it's 2 points further ahead you would be. It's going to be interesting. I genuinely, I can't pick who, and I'm going to completely sit on the fence. Sorry, I am going to sit on the fence. I can't pick in either league who I think is going to qualify. That is because the results can genuinely go anyway. This stage of the season, you said it before, Mark. You don't know who's injured, who who's like not going, who's not quite fired
got
up.
50-year suspension. Yeah. Well, Elite
Yeah,
League isn't as bad as the National, like you said earlier, but you never know with these things. You never know suspensions. You never know injuries.
just it happens like an injury to one of your key guys right now, to your goalie, to whoever it may be, your top scorer. All of these things will have an impact on the 2, 3, 4 weeks that are to come. The other thing that will impact certain teams, having guys that have been injured coming off the IR and back into the lineup fresh after a couple of weeks off, resting an injury, a little bit more pep in the step, body's recovered a little bit more. All of these things will play a massive factor. Cardiff Devils, they're still looking good. They managed to turn obviously the Steelers over 4-0 last night. That's a hell of a result for them. They are 69 points, so 10 points back at Sheffield, 9 points clear at Belfast. Manchester Storm, Guildford, they're in a battle for fourth. As it looks though, them two are going to face off against each other, Storm versus Guildford. So we will see one of those two teams in Nottingham this year.
Like, could you imagine imagine this situation? I was just thinking to myself, because I'm quite stupid, as the fans will probably realise. Imagine if Coventry Blaze didn't make the playoffs, and then the playoff, like the pre-playoff, whatever, and then the playoff weekend, and you have Dundee, Fife, Glasgow, and Guildford. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, who did you say? Dundee?
Dundee, Fife, Glasgow, and Guildford. Could you imagine a a playoff weekend of that?
It'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it, for the Elite League?
Could you imagine that?
I
Just a
as it
crazy
as it would
situation.
stand right. So as it would stand right now, Sheffield Steelers would take on Five Flyers. Now you would think Sheffield would do them over the 2 legs. I know they didn't in the Challenge Cup last year, but this is a different Sheffield, and the playoffs are a different beast. Cardiff Devils would take on Glasgow Clan. Fuck yeah, I think they would. The way the form Cardiff have been in of late, I think they would do damage to that
They do a
Clan
job,
team.
yeah.
Giants taking on Blaze. I know Blaze have done okay against the Giants, but the way it stands right now, the Giants, they seem to have turned a little corner.
They want some silverware. They're going to want some
Uh,
silverware on there. They're always going to be hungry. They couldn't get the title, so they're going to try and get the playoffs.
yeah, exactly. That would leave one hell of a series, I believe, between the Storm and the Flame. I think that would be very, very interesting watch because it's exciting to guarantee having like one of the teams like that there. Yeah, that's good for the league. If it's Manchester, I don't believe they've been there in a while, so that'd be good for them to get exposure. Flames, if it's them, it just goes to show, with the right game plan, stepping up, they've showed how you could do it successfully. They've grown continuously over the years. Second place finish last year, another cup final this year, cup final previously. Interesting. I'm really, really pleased for Paul Dixon. Looking the same, Mark, if the playoffs were to start in the NIHL National today, Group A would consist of the Leeds Knights, the Hull Seahawks, Peterborough Phantoms, and the Bees. What a cunt of a group for travel. If you're a Bees player, you got to go Peterborough, Hull, and Leeds. That's a rough group. And then on the other side, MK, Swindon, Telford, and Raiders. Is that how it finishes? The only two positions that are fully confirmed as of yet are Leeds Knights in number one guaranteed. So they are obviously guaranteed to go into top seed Pool A. And then Pool B will be MK Lightning as they are guaranteed to finish second. Mate, if that was the groups right now, who would you fancy? You already forgot them. Leeds, Hull, Phantoms, Bees.
Yeah, no, I'm trying.
I, I
Hull,
could, I couldn't look past Leeds and Hull for that.
yeah, Hull. I'm going in the first, and yeah, it's hard to look past Leeds.
Yeah, it's so hard to look past them, mate. It's so good. And then in the other group, yeah,
Is Swindon also in that group?
no
Swindon are in the
Swindon, MK, Telford, and Telford and Raiders. So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a tougher group to call. Again, though,
yeah.
anyone can beat anyone in this league, and you can't write off any teams. The Bees, they could easily wrap their season up this weekend. They get a 4 point weekend. It just allows them to pull that distance clear. That really would help solidify their place. Raiders, that would mean obviously we looked at it the other way, but if the Raiders were to lose both this weekend, then they're going to have some work to do next week. Let's have a look. Who did the Raiders play again? National League fixtures. Let's go right down to the bottom of here. Yeah, because the Raiders next weekend was Swindon and MK. Yeah, mate, it's fucking exciting. It's great league. I'm happy that it's starting to grow back to where it was in the EPL sort of era, and the excitement's there. The buildings are getting fuller. The talent's improving as well. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good. I think we've covered. I don't think we've missed anything, have we?
No, no. Maybe we'll give a little present to everybody that made it to the end of the episode. Congratulations. Our first guest for the Elite League playoff finals weekend is none other than Belfast Giants legend, Cardiff Devils current GM, and all-round beauty, newly named member of Ice Hockey UK, Mr. Todd Kelman. Todd is one of my favorite guests we've ever had on the show, and a massive name for us to be sitting down with and in front of all you guys at the Elite League playoff finals weekend. Todd was brilliant when we had him on 4,000 and counting before. He answered everything we could throw at him, and the feedback was great. So, Mark, how cool of a first guest is that?
Awesome guest. Looking forward to meeting him. Really, that's a great way to start things off.
Todd's such a beauty as well. I really, really like Todd. Got a lot of time for him, a lot of respect for him. And I'm thankful he's agreed to be one of our guests for the weekend. That's just the tip of the iceberg, baby. Two more guests up and coming. Stay tuned. You got a month to go. It will be a month today. The Elite League playoff title will be lifted the 21st of April. I'm excited, mate. It's the most excited I've been for hockey in a long time, actually. Gonna be
Get your
buzzing to
Fruit of the Loom hats out.
get the playoff hats out. Get your prime Arnie.
And
I'll
roster
give the elite.
base.
I'll give the Elite League their due though. They're not quite as bad as the old National when it comes to getting your hats out. But you know the Ali Cree Sheffield Steel Dogs B&H Benson and Hedges hats were fucking class because they were the hats I remember from way back in the day. But the Elite League for the Challenge Cup, the medals and stuff, they look wicked, mate. They look really, really good, solid, good trophy, all champagne on point, and yeah, it was a
The key question: is there a good handshake included?
Yeah. So the one guy doesn't even get one. He's got to stand there waiting for a handshake off a random dude. Oh mate, that was so bad, so bad, so fucking bad. Ugh. Makes me sick. Like treat the players like that's a joke. But been a positive episode. We haven't had to bitch about too much, which is nice. I saw someone on Twitter this yesterday bitching because there was no hockey arguments happening on Twitter, and then today it's just like argument central about Sheffield and Cardiff game, and was it goalie interference, and was it this, and was it that? I was like, yeah, that lasted what 7 hours from you saying there's been nothing to everyone just back at it again. Oh mate, I don't know if people have the energy for it. It's
It's funny.
tiring.
It's
It's
just
tiring.
it's anything and everything now.
Oh well, no. Right, Mark, I don't have anything else to say other than I look forward to getting you to the UK, and I look forward to us smashing 3 live podcasts up.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Right, folks, we are hoping to get some pre-sale merch done before, and it will be available to order before, and it will be available to collect from us. But I'm literally doing pre-order. That's it. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, done. The order will go in, I would imagine, probably, let's say 20 days time. So let's say the 10th, to give them 10-day turnaround to do it, ready for us to take to Nottingham. You'll be able to collect it from Saltbox. That's going to help fund some of these weekends and some of these bits and pieces. And yeah, that really help out the podcast going forward. Mark, we shall have to do this again very soon. I've been crazy busy with work. Mark's been crazy busy with work. We do promise we have got guests coming up. We haven't gone radio silent. But yeah, we'll have some more stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start ramping it up come on playoff time. We're going to be getting guests from a lot of different teams on and chatting up their potential success in the playoffs. But Mark, it's been fun. Ladies and
Yeah.
gents, peace.
Shout out to
We'll see.
Kirky.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Kirky. 7 goals so far, 6 games in the Czech Extra League playoffs. Guys are savage. I don't
Oh
even
yeah.
think he's got any apples, has he? It's just 7 straight tucks.
He got an apple the other night. He
Oh,
got
did
an
he get
apple
one the other night?
two plus one in the first game. In the
Right.
first game? Yes. I don't remember. He got 2+1
Guys,
anyway.
guys are savage. So he's on 8 points in 6 playoff games.
Yeah. Solid.
That's going to get him noticed, hopefully. I don't know who by, but someone needs to be watching because his goals are just filth as well. Like, they're not tappings. He's like stepping in and ripping. His snapshot is fucking ferocious.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like an NHL shot. I don't care what anyone says. But obviously he does. He scored 7 goals at the World Championships. That's against NHL goalies for the most part.
Yeah.
It's against like good goalies. So you can just shoot, right? And his positioning is getting better. His strength's getting better. He's fast. I'm really enjoying watching him play. Mark, let's bounce.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace, folks.